Hey, welcome to a Kiss for Luck. I'm Steve.
I'm Charisse.
And joining us today, one of our regular, irregular guests here, Chris Victor from Victor Racing. How are you, Chris?
Doing well, guys. Thanks for having me again. Looking forward to another great show.
Excellent, excellent. Well, why don't we start off with you, Chris? A little birdie told me you have a horse running.
We do. We have a horse running Thursday in the seventh race, state bred optional claiming, going 6 furlongs. Been off for a little bit of time now. We've been looking forward to having her back, Miss Kona, with Peter Urton. So last drill she had was at Del Mar, and she's had a few races there, and we put her on the shelf just to kind of grow into her body. So nothing wrong, everything's great, all green lights for the go. But we're looking forward to seeing her on the comeback. Like I said, she ran against Mohaven, who finished second last week in a stakes race at Del Mar. Cash has been over at Emerald Downs. I'm sorry, not Cash. Yeah, Cash has been over at Emerald Downs running in some allowance races. So the horses that have exited those races that we ran against have really kind of performed and done well in their own right. And we're looking to make sure, see if Miss Kona can, obviously get back to the races and back into winning form. Her last race was that state bred Golden Juvenile, finished fourth by 6 1/4. But the last drill she had at Del Mar, July 19th, 4 and 47 and 1, was just something, great. She did it easy, well within herself. And really looking forward to, like I said, getting her back racing. And we'll be headed down there Thursday morning, kids and I and Grandpa to watch with the family. And yeah, nice late post time at 5 p.m. So it'll be a long day, but it'll be a great day for sure.
Awesome. Awesome. Good to hear. Good to hear. Hey, we're going to go to Charisse with her picks, and we'll come back to you with your picks. But we're really happy to see Ms. Kona back on the racetrack. And yeah, love that work July 19th. Wow.
Yeah.
So, if I've got some wood here, unfortunately, my desk is this cheap poly wood. It's not really wood, but I'll knock on it for you.
There we
Anyway,
go.
so good luck down there, of course. And I've got a pick that revolves around your horse, and I think you do too. So we'll catch that on
And
the
I do too.
rebound.
And I do three.
Yeah. Oh,
Perfect.
okay. Well, Charisse, how are you this fabulous morning?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm getting ready for a long late morning afternoon of mahjong with my girls.
Huh?
But it's going to be a fun day. And then we're going to dinner with our friends. So all in all, a lovely Wednesday. Chris, I'm trying to get Steve to head out to Del Mar tomorrow. We'll route you home. I love when friends have horses running and we want to support you. And we're going to try and get out there tomorrow for sure.
We'd
Yeah.
love to have you. I'd love to see you out there with us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I did picks for Thursday and Friday, and if you know by now, Saratoga has canceled today,
Mhm.
Wednesday, and they're
Yeah.
saying that the rain is not going to stop. So
Mm.
my Saratoga picks, who knows? But let's start. I'm going to go to Del Mar tomorrow, and I'm going to do the late pick four, which you can morph into a late pick three and into a late double if you like. I'm going to go to the fifth race Thursday, Del Mar, and I'm going to use the three Doug O'Neill, Jaramillo, morning line 8 to 1. I absolutely love this horse. But I am going to double up here. I'm going to add the 11, Lania for Vladimir Serin, Holly and David Wilson, big owners, and Armando Ayuso. I like that horse on the outside. In the sixth race, I'm going to single, and I'm going to single the five, JJ Hernandez for Carla Gaines on the drop. That's all I see in this race.
Okay.
In the seventh race, my top pick is Miss Kona.
Yeah.
Miss Kona, Antonio, Chris Victor's horse, Peter
Let's
Urton.
go.
Why not? But I am going to double up on a horse that I gave out last weekend, but wound up scratching at Del Mar. Number 7, the Lone Exchange with JJ Hernandez, 12 to 1 morning line, Antonio Garcia Redham Racing. Just throwing that one in, but I do think Miss Kona has it over this field on the comeback. In the final and eighth race, I'm going four deep. I'm using the four. Again, JJ Hernandez. So let's hope JJ has a big day tomorrow. I'm going to use the 9, Belmont agrees. He hopes JJ has a big race tomorrow too. Velvet Rain, the 9, 4-1, Doug O'Neill. The 10, Justivar, Rosario for Mike Pipey. And finally, the outside horse, number 11, Zariah, Michael McCarthy, Jaramillo. That's it. So that's a $12 late pick four. And then, of course, win money on Miss Kona, especially if we're there, honey. Hint, hint. Okay, Saratoga tomorrow, Thursday, if they do run. Now, problem is this one, I'm giving out just a single pick. It is on the turf. So weather permitting, I have no idea, but let's do it anyway. In the 8th race, the Glen Falls grade 2, mile and a half on the turf. I absolutely love number, oh my goodness, where did I go? Number 2, Storm Miami, my old hometown, the city I was born in. Johnny V and Amelia Green. 12-1 morning line. The horse just missed a grade 3 at a mile and 3/8 at Delaware. At Aqueduct, a mile and 3/8 grade 3, missed by 3/4 of a length. I think Johnny V is going to get that horse out and see how far she will go. But I am going to do an exacta box with another price horse, the 8, Favorite Memory, Irad Ortiz for Cherie DeVoe. I'm sorry, Jose Ortiz for Cherie DeVoe. They're what, 98% together now? I say box it, exacta box, 2, 8, and the 2 to win. And those are my picks for Thursday. Do you want me to do my Friday stuff too?
Go ahead, babe. You got the
Okay,
mic.
it's easy. Del Mar, I'm going to do a late double on Friday, and I don't have the odds yet on our past performances. But in the 7th race, Friday, $5 late double, I'm singling Pavlovian, Doug O'Neill, Edwin Maldonado, speed, 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 speed. I'm just hoping for a price. I don't know what the morning line is yet. Do you know, Chris?
I don't. My forms
Yeah.
never have the odds on them, so I don't know until the day of.
I have a feeling he'll probably be maybe somewhere around 10 to in the 8th race for the second half of the double. I'm going to use 2 horses. I'm going to use I believe it's the 2, Latin Air. Jeff Mullins gives the ride to Julien Leparoux on the turf at a mile. And I'm also going to use a horse that I believe our friend Pete Perella told me to put in my watch about 2 months ago. And it is Volcanologist. Andy Mathis, of course, he trains with Andy as well. But he just told me to watch for this horse. So I've got him in my watch. I was notified. He's probably going to be co-favorite, but I say do that, the double. Pavlovian to Latin Air and Volcanologist. Tomorrow, Saratoga, Simple Simon, first race. Let's start the day off with a winner. Again, if it's raining, don't know, on the turf. First race Friday, number 3, Jackpot Jackie, with leading rider Flavian Pratt. It's marked for 5.5 on the turf. It's a first-time starter with decent works, nothing to write home about. And of course, we have Todd Pletcher and Flavian at a mere 31% together. So that's it. Thursday, Friday picks done.
Hey, nice. I like it. I like it. I like it. Well, Chris, can you top that?
You know what? It's tough to follow Charisse. Let me tell you, she does so good. But I'll definitely try here.
All right.
Yeah, headed back to Del Mar for Thursday. I looked at the pick 3 sequence, races 5, 6, and 7. I really like kind of that sequence to catch Miss Kona in the 7th. But we'll start in the 5th race here. Optional 50 mile on the turf. The gates are out 24 feet. The reason I like to mention this always is because it's a little bit of a tighter course and they can only run so many on there. But the front speed, not only at Del Mar sticks, but it definitely sticks a lot more with those gates out. It's harder to close in on those horses if you're not sitting, I like to put
Mm.
the number at like 6 or 7 lengths. If you're 6 or 7 lengths out of it, you really got to be a good horse to kind of catch them, even on the dirt as well. Del Mar is definitely a front end course, unless they go lightning fast and go something crazy, which is kind of what happened to Mohaven the other day. They just went absolutely too fast on the front end,
Yeah.
and they went 22:44, and yeah, it was way too fast for them. And they ran the last quarter in 13 seconds, and that just shows you, that they were going way too fast up front for the closers to come in. So anyway, we're looking at number two to kick this off for us. Cat the Confidant with John Sadler, Joel Rosario. This horse works two back July 17th, 5:59 and one. And I really just like this horse coming back into itself off the layoff. It ran pretty decently off the layoff. He ran against Velocity, which is a nice horse, July 20th, 2025. And it got put on the shelf in November. So since November, has just had a lot of great work patterns. I love Sadler off the layoff. I think that he preps him really well. And I know most people kind of give him one off the break, but I think that because Joel took this ride again, I like the horse a lot. And just the condition I think fits him well. But the two horse is someone that I'm going to actually kind of leverage a pick three with. So not only will I single him, but I'll also use the four as well. Rehearsal with Filamato and Fresu. This horse, as well as coming off a layoff, but this horse fits that more front end profile that I like. I think the two is going to sit a little bit behind the four horse, and he's already run rehearsals run at Del Mar 5 times already, and has finished second twice and third once. At the distance, he's yet to win with 11 tries, but he's got 6 seconds and 2/3. So out of those 11 tries, he's 8 times in the money. So that's definitely a horse, we'll use or key around in the trifecta key box. With a lot of these horses, 50-cent trifectas at Del Mar are fantastic. They're $1 at Santa Anita, so you can kind of throw in an extra horse with the 50-cent trifecta boxes or key boxes and kind of expand a little bit and really get some more deeper value in there. So um, the other horse that I was looking at in here was the 9 horse. Let's see, Bikini Girl with Humberto Risperly and Christopher Davis. So if you pay attention, a lot of these horses are coming in for the Ship and Win program, and this is one of them that's eligible. As long as you start your last race outside of California, you're eligible for the Ship and Win, which you get a nice bonus as an owner and trainer to increase your pool size or your win size. But Christopher Davis here has had 3 starters to record on my form. He may have had another one. I printed this form out pretty early. So, but 3 starts, he's got 1 second and 1/3, which tells me he's spotting these horses very, very well. He's kind of getting aggressive in the sense that he's placing these horses. So, this horse is coming out of Indiana. Second start off the layoff. He finished second by a neck to a horse called Lone Moon. And I really just like the rally that he's going to be able to get. And this is kind of that backup horse for me that if Umberto can lay close, this horse has some tactical speed and can definitely make some noise. And I think you're going to get a nice fair value on this horse. I think you'll probably get north of 6-1. So that's just a horse that I think that, for me, looking for value, something I enjoy doing is finding horses that could improve at a price and, kind of, I'll say get lucky, but this horse is going to need to step up a little bit for sure from where he's been running at Turfway Park or Indiana. But yeah, so my leverage ticket will be with the 2, but I'm going to use 249 in the 5th race, and then moving on to race number 7. Did I mess that up? Yeah, that was
Race six.
race 6. Okay, yeah, I went too far in my form. Sorry. The first horse I'm going to use is number 7, which is Mio Bambino. 3, 6, 7. Yeah, Mio Bambino. And this is an Andy Mathis horse. Kind of taking a class drop here as well. State bred optional 20 was the last condition. Now they're going non-winners at 3. This horse has 15 career lifetime starts, and he's got 7 in the money finishes. So again, this horse is very consistent within the money. I like seeing that. He's had 2 starts over the Del Mar service with no luck, but I think with the class release today, he's going to definitely be put in the ride. And again, we land on Joel Rosario. I think Joel's going to start heating up. He's going to get a lot of the mounts coming up that are kind of getting back into form. He's had 24 starts. He's only at 4%, but if you look again, he's got 9 in the money finishes with 24 starts. So he's consistently there. He's just needing that next push over the hill to kind of to get those wins. But that's somebody I definitely want to see improve. And the next horse I'm going to be using is the 9 Spiritual Advisor for Jeff Bondi. This horse has a nice outside post, and I think that with Tiago board riding back again second time, you kind of got to know the horse. This horse is third time in form or third time off the layoff, so it's the best form cycle for the horse in my eyes. And he fits the same condition. You know, the claiming 10 non-winners are 3, claiming 16 non-winners are 3, kind of the same condition in my eyes. But he already has 2 starts over the Del Mar surface with 1/3. And again, a total career at the distance, 9 tries, and he's got 6 in the money finishes. So I think this is a prime race for a lot of a good trifecta race for me, just to use a lot of these horses in a key box and get a lot of that value. So, you know, we'll see who is the post time favorite in here. I think it's kind of tough. I know that I know that Charisse's 5 horse is someone that I looked at. Rhythm, I think it was Rhythm on the Stage for Carla
The
Gaines
seven,
and that.
yeah, the 7 horse, the Lone Exchange.
Oh, the Loan
Oh, no,
Exchange.
no,
Sorry.
no, no, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Rhythm of Stage. Yeah,
6th race. I'm sorry.
yeah, Rhythm on
Number
Stage
5.
with
Right,
yeah,
right.
Carla Gaines. That horse to me, you know, Carla does a lot of great things with these horses, and I see the drop for sure. My only thing with that for this horse for me is that is he going to be able to go back to the dirt, right? I think a lot of
Yeah.
these horses are turf horses. This horse
Mhm.
specifically is a turf horse. I don't really see this is the first time uh 5 tries on the dirt with 2 seconds. So you really I got to go back into DRF and find those dirt races and kind of see how the
Mhm.
speed was or see how the pace was in those races. But that's kind of what deterred me from this horse. Um, I did look at it, Teresa. I want you to know that it was just one of those things. Carla's turf to dirt is a 10% ratio with the
Yeah.
59% or 59-cent return. So I'm not saying it's impossible. What I'm saying is just
Right.
that I'm going to add that horse for you to see if we can get
Okay.
some value there. I think JJ obviously picks the right horses. You know, he is the leading jockey, I believe,
Yeah.
at 22% at Del Mar right now,
Mhm.
and rightfully so. He does tremendous work, and always
Right.
love watching him. He's pretty sneaky too. Sometimes you get him on a big price horse, which I think is always interesting. Freysu as well, I think, is another one you got to watch for. But um, yeah, no, Rhythm on the Stage is a horse that I definitely want to see improve and get back to the dirt and see if he can handle it. But for me, I think the turf is where he belongs. So, and then moving on to race number 7, obviously Miss Kona, top pick. Want to see her get back to the races again. I can tell you from an honest standpoint, we can't spot the field 15 lengths like we did in the first race and the second race as well. I think, you know, comfortably speaking, I think it's more of the handicapper and me talking more than the owners, you know, talking. We I don't want to see her farther than 5th back. I want to see her up close and not spotting the field 9 or 10 lengths. I think that's kind of going to put us in a tough position. And I'm not saying she couldn't do it. She's definitely proven she can come from far out and make some noise. But for me, from a comfortable speaking standpoint and a handicapper standpoint, I would love to see her no farther than fifth back, sitting behind, you know, Syntax or who was the other horse, Redheaded Reba, who's going to be sitting on the rail with Hector. A lot of these guys know that front end speed is where you need to be. So if they run away from her early, you know, the loan exchange as well, like you said, that horse is going to be on the front end. I see a lot of speed in this race. So it'll be interesting to see from a jockey standpoint what they're going to do. If they're all going to go, if they're going to let 1 or 2 go, you know, if they all decide to go at 6 furlongs, and maybe we can definitely try and sit a little bit farther back. But again, from a handicapper standpoint, I'd like to be no farther than 5th.
Mhm.
But the other horses I would throw in for me were the 10 Syntax and the 1
Mhm.
Redheaded Reba. Those would be the horses that I threw in into you know, I would key obviously Miss Kona on top, not in a box. Obviously CHRB requires me to obviously only use my horse to win, which I follow more than probably most owners do. So I definitely do it. I like to make sure that, you know, our win is just as successful monetarily as an owner, but also as a better, because it just makes you feel that much better because you can get a lot more bigger price horses behind you if they can finish and kind of expand your ticket. So
Yeah.
Key Miss Kona on top, and then the 10 and the 1. And then, yeah, we'll throw your 7 and 3 in there as well. And hopefully get it done there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool, cool, man.
Yeah.
So,
I think you're heading to the winner's circle tomorrow, Chris.
I hope so.
Your
yeah.
I'll
boys are
have,
going to be with you.
yeah, they will. They're coming down. We're gonna hang out, go have lunch at Jake's on the water, and it'll be a
Awesome.
nice day. And yeah, hopefully stay cool. I know the weather should be nice. It'll be 100 degrees up in Rancho Cucamonga tomorrow. So we've been running our air conditioner pretty much every day. it's been a, it's been a
Us
hot
too.
one out here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But moving to Friday, I don't know, Steve, if you want to jump into Thursday and come back to Friday, or
Yeah, let me give out a late pick three just to cover it really quickly because we've got very similar stuff, but I'm playing it a little bit differently. On the Thursday Del Mar ticket, I'm doing the late pick three, the $3 variety. And in the first leg, it's leg six. It's already been talked about quite a bit, but the horses I'm throwing in, I've got the five that Charisse mentioned. I've got the seven you mentioned. But what I did here was I went 1, 4, 5, 6, 7 in that first leg for a variety of the reasons that were already laid out. So no point in wasting time on any of that stuff. The middle leg, Miss Kona, I think is primed and ready for this. I think it's a good spot. But I also like the Lone Exchange Redham's horse with Antonio Garcia. I think he's a cagey guy, and I think he's throwing him in there in a good spot where he's had a long layoff. He's got some really nice work pattern. I do like what he did here. So I think I put in the loan exchange as well. I got 3, 7 in the middle of the sequence. And then in the final eighth race, I went too deep there. I went the 5 and the 9. Charisse mentioned Velvet Rain. I like that one too with Doug O'Neill. And a wise man once told me that when it's on the turf and you've got the dam from Ireland and the sire from Ireland, you might want to put them in. So that's exactly what I did with the 9. And the 5, I think, is sitting in a good spot here. What I've tried to do here in this ticket, just so you know, going back to the seventh race that you're in, Chris, your horse, Miss Kona, I don't particularly care for the horses that have continued to run the optional claiming 20. And if you've run optional claiming 20, as a lot of people know, that is one of those races that if you finally break your maiden or you happen to break your maiden in a soft field, but you want to hang on to your horse a little longer, what do? You throw them in optional claiming 20. That's kind of the lowest optional claimer you can do. So why not throw them in there where, there's other people that are doing the same thing. So if you see a lot of horses that are always in the optional claiming 20 ranks, I chuck them out, because I think they're just trying to steal a win if they happen to get a soft field. So Miss Kona, what's Miss Kona coming out of? 2 men's special weights and a stakes race. Great. I like that. What's Lone Exchange coming out of? Maiden special weight, won by DQ. I like that. So that's what I do whenever I see an optional claiming 20. The first thing I do is take a look at the horses that haven't continually run optional claiming 20s. Anyway, so that's my theory on it, and that's a $60 ticket for the late pick 3 on Thursday, Del Mar. So I actually, if you want, now that we're talking about Thursday, let me also mention I did a pick 5 as well in that same sequence. So I can just add on the front end of what I did here, and it's pretty simple for me. So the late pick 5, let me try to find it here.
In the fourth.
Thursday? No, never mind. Never mind. I did
No.
that. That was a different yes, it is. Here it is. Late pick. I did the late pick 4 is
Okay,
what I
the
did.
fifth.
So it's
Like
funny
I
when
did.
you mentioned Cat the Confidant in race number 5, that's my single to start the pick 4. So do my pick 4 is what I just said there, and just add Cat the Confidant to start it off in the late pick 4 for 50 cents. So, and it's a lot cheaper ticket. It's
There you go.
$15 or something like that, $30. Anyway, not even that. It's probably more like about $18. Anyhow, all right, Chris, we were talking about Friday now. Let's go. Let's move on to Friday.
Yeah, I was just, oh, you know what? I'm in the wrong race. That's why I think I got to go back to my other form here. Sorry.
Not a problem.
Um, we are so race number 5 on Friday is a state bred maiden 12-5, going 6 on the dirt. And there was a horse that kind of caught my eye in here. And the reason it caught my eye is I looked at this race, and not only is it, I'll say it, it's a cheaper race, right? 12-5, but there really isn't a ton of speed in there. There's probably 2 horses in here that I think that would go to the lead. And one of them is Dancing with Cherie, and it's the 3 horse with Kyle Frey and Tim McKenna. And Kyle's doing great. He's got 16 mounts with 2 wins. And again, this is just information from when I got these forms. There could be a change because of Saturday and Sunday, and I just wanted to preface that. But the horse that really caught my eye in here was the outside horse, Anti-Slapp, for Jeff Bondi and Edwin Maldonado. This horse has had 2 starts, state bred maiden 50s, and he's finished third by 4 3/4 lengths, and then fourth by 2 3/4 lengths. And you went from Aguilar to Fresu now to Maldonado. So this horse is going to be its third jockey and its third start. But if you look at the running line, steadied at the 3/8 pole. So even though the horse was steadied at the 3/8 pole, Fresu still got the horse to kind of finish up 4 2/3, right? Behind the winner. But he's going back, he's coming back, he's going to the dirt for the first time. And most people, maybe they don't realize, but a lot of these horses, you're not allowed to train on the turf unless you're a stakes horse, right? And the dogs are out when you're training anyway. But a lot of these horses train on the dirt, and when they've run on the turf all of their life, I can say that all of their life for this particular horse, getting to that dirt back kind of refreshes their mind. Like, hey, I usually train, or I usually don't go that fast. Now I get to go fast on the dirt. I know that may sound a little bit weird, but in my mind, it's like, hey, this is what I'm used to. I'm used to being on this dirt. I'm used to being able to run on this dirt. And I think that the switch to Edwin, I think they're going to send this horse from the outside. And I think that we can catch a flyer here with Anti-Slapp and at a decent price, because uh, I think that there's a lot of other droppers in here. If I'm not mistaken, there was 1 or 2 maiden special weight droppers. Yeah, Idiot Straits with Alvarado Rubicabla and Monroe. That horse is coming from the clouds. It had a couple gate works, but and then yeah, Pennyworth on the rail. But those horses, to me, they're coming back from that Pennyworth again, turf to dirt, Los Alamitos, didn't really show a ton of speed. Kind of got on the front end and stopped. There was an issue. It says crowded at the 7/16. I haven't watched that race yet. But Tyler, to me, does not really send a lot of horses. He really kind of sits and tries to track horses, especially if he sees other speed in the race. But I think, again, if the 3 doesn't go or doesn't really catch the speed, um, and for me, it was the distance there, the extra half furlong. The horse doesn't really perform at 6 furlongs. I think that we could catch a flyer, like I said, with Edwin on that outside horse. The horse is proven, in my eyes, at 6 furlongs, and I don't think that the dirt is going to be an issue for the Smiling Tiger, sire. But this horse was bred by Katie Fisher, and she owns Fisher Farms in Santa Ynez, which is where we got. Katie actually picked our namesake horse, Alta Victor's. So he was actually picked out by her. Now she runs a great establishment, a farm up in Santa Ynez, Kingfisher Farms. And when I saw that, I was pretty drawn to it. Not only obviously, emotionally, but I think that, like I said, with Edwin aboard, I think that they're going to be sending from the outside to cross over and just mount stop. So that's someone I really kind of was drawn to when I looked this form over first way through. But yeah, that would be a pick for Friday. That would definitely be interested to watch.
Awesome. Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, it turns out that if you're talking Friday, is that it for Friday for you?
Yeah, that's all I got, to be honest. Yep.
Okay. Well, I like what you're laying down there in that race. I'm going to do a late pick 5 in that the same deal. So starting in the 4th race Friday at Del Mar, I have a ticket that is going to be $36, and you're going to get a lot of coverage in some spots, that's for sure. But I got to get by the first race. The first race is the optional claiming 100, which is kind of ludicrous in California speak. Like nobody's dipping in for 100,000 probably ever, in California, but you never know. So it's an optional claiming 100. I'm singling Speedy Wilson, Phil D'Amato and Speedy Wilson. This horse is 3 for 6 over the Del Mar track and a second and a third. So it's pretty clear that it's a horse for course, and it never really, terribly disappoints. You look at the 6.5 race down the hill. Okay, that's a niche race. All right, you could throw that one out. The Cal Cup Sprint went against Mana Rose. Give me a break. That nobody's going to beat Mana Rose. Won by 9 lengths. So if you throw out those two, lost by 10, lost by 11, it's always very competitive. This horse, Ricky Gonzalez ran on this horse last time. I don't know if Ayuso was committed elsewhere or what happened there, but Ayuso is getting back on board, the regular pilot. So I'm singling the 6 in the first leg of the pick 5 in the 4th race at Del Mar. In the 5th race, I like what you're talking about with the 12. I like what you're talking about with the 1 and the 3. I went all. So I'm going all 12 horses in race 5. I just see that there's way too much, like what you described. I mean, you spent a few minutes talking about all the different, things that are going on in this race, and I just can't tell you that there's not somebody that's going to jump up and bite somebody in the butt. So I'm going all of them. So I'm going 1 through 12 in that one. In race 6, claiming 25,000. Very interesting races. Claiming 25,000, a mile and a 16th turf shoot. I went inside and outside, the 1 horse and the 9 horse. Sandbagger with Tyler Bays and Gary Studi. I think this, I don't normally bet Gary Studi, but I think this horse is in a good position here. It's last time it was competitive at the same type of a racer, a mile and an eighth is shortening up. It was very close at a mile and a 16th. So I think this is going to be a better distance for that horse. So I like Sandbagger, and I really love the 9 on the outside, Sadler and Rosario Coco-san. I think this Coco-san is they're finally realizing, okay, let's put it in for a tag. Let's don't mess around with this. Let's put it in there. And I love to look for those things at Del Mar because the purses are higher. And if they lose this horse, and I put that in quotes, lose, they get the lion's share of $31,000 purse and 25 grand. So if somebody wants to, buy my 4-year-old for that, and I walk away with, $40,000+, that's fine. Why? Mm-hmm. Because it's a homebred. It was a homebred anyway. So, take the money you've won. You've won $90,000. Take another $42,000 and call it a day. So we're going the 1 and the 9 in that race. Nice. And in the 7th race is the ungraded stakes, the real good deal. 150K race here, 7 furlongs on the main track. I like courtside action on the inside. Andy Mathis, our buddies Ev and Pete Perella, Legacy Ranch, Ricky Gonzalez on board. This horse is getting better every race. I like it. Wins by 5, wins by 4. Now coming down to Del Mar. And I like what Andy did. Just breezed him the first time out. And then the second time out, pushed him a little bit. Pretty much a minute flat. I like what Andy's doing there, and I love Andy Mathis. I think he's a great trainer. They've known each other quite a long time. Andy and Pete from Northern California, where they all kind of started their odyssey in horse racing many years ago up in Northern California. And then I also like the 7 Fianello in here with Pereira on board and Steve Knapp. And I know Charisse loves the fact I'm picking a Stay Thirsty, so that makes her very happy. I knew I'd get some husband points on this one, and
there you go.
Pick something she liked, and we remember this horse from the ranch, Fianello, and this was one of those that was bred to my Fiona, which was a great dam for them, and I do like the fact that this horse. Once again, you're looking at it's $150,000 stakes race, and I think this is it fits this horse perfectly. I think this is a, if you look at some of the races it didn't win, that's okay. But this is a softer group, I think. I think this is a softer group, and I think Fianello is sitting very well poised to do well on this. Again, Pavlovian, you never know. I think Pavlovian was, my personal opinion, overhyped. When it was like, go to the Derby, gonna win. Here we go. Got the speed, got the, it's like, slow your roll, slow your roll. If Pavlovian comes back and does anything like it did at the beginning of the year, it's going to blow the field away. But I just don't know if it's the same horse after the Kentucky Derby. And that happens with horses, they get 19 other horses around them and they get bumped around. And it's like, do I really want to play this game anymore? So I'm not putting in Pavlovian. I am putting in the 10 Ocean Bear, Papa Padromo, and Rispoli on board. This horse has won 3 straight races, moving right up the ladder in state bred. And I think this one is right where it needs to be. And I always love when I see the buyers increase every time they run. That's a positive thing for me, and I really enjoy that. And oh yeah, by the way, it's 2 for 3 with a second at Del Mar. Likes the course. Ocean Bear is going to be in there as well. And in the final race, I've got 5-11, and that's going to be Grazing in the Grass, Timiak Teen, and with Freyzoo on board. I think when you mention those two names together, you can't leave them off the turf. And by the way, they're 31% together, those two at Del Mar. So maybe that's the reason I said that. And the 11, Impressionistic, with Leonard Powell. Again, the horse is getting better every race. I think this is where it's going to have its coming of age party. Impressionistic, and I love Leonard Powell on turf horses anyway. He just really loves to train them, and he trains them very well. French guys will do that. They love their turfers. And so, mile on the turf, I think this horse is going to be coming at the end and very possibly could mow them all down. So that ticket is $36. And I think you're getting a lot of coverage for all that. If you can get past the first one, Speedy Wilson can't let me down. Just like Speedy Wilson for mayor. I know where he got that from. He got that Nick Alexander. I love when he puts names in there. I try not to Google them. That one I did not need to Google. I remember Back to the Future, Speedy Wilson for mayor, right? It was
That's right.
The kid that worked at the soda fountain and when he was a kid.
Yeah, that's right.
The town. Anyway, so Speedy Wilson, if you get past him there. Any thoughts on that sequence, Chris?
Eligible list, but the 12 horse Maggles Mcgee for Papa Padromo and Rispoli. If that horse draws in, he's going to be tough coming off that layoff from April to today. Just the last 4 workouts are just phenomenal. I mean, June 27th, 4-47 and 1, July 4th, 5-59 and 1. And these are San Luis Rey workouts. And I'll tell you why that's important. But July 31st, San Luis Rey 5-1 in 1 minute and 1. And then 5-59 again. The reason it's important to notate San Luis Rey is that track's a lot deeper, and they keep that track pretty much harrowed up for whatever reason, but it's a lot harder to get over that track. And when you see these times at San Luis Rey, you almost can take off a full second if they were run here at Del Mar or at Del Mar at Santa Anita. And when I translate that, you're running 5-58, 5-59, 5-58, 4-46. And those are really, really great workout times. And another note, there's no workout or clocker reports that come out of San Luis Rey. So not a lot of these trainers, but some of these trainers, if they have horses that kind of want to sneak in or sneak by that don't get to see the clocking report and are not being watched by clockers, they can do that at San Luis Rey because they don't come up on DRF or Bruno with the Works or any of those other workout reports. And when I see that, I always kind of give a special little asterisk to those horses because they're coming from San Luis Rey, which is not too far, from Del Mar. So they're getting kind of the same weather, kind of the same environment. They don't have, if they're shipping in from Santa Anita and they haven't been there that long, the acclimation is kind of different, right? I mean, right now, I think there's a lot more humidity in the air between Arcadia and Rancho and everywhere else because of the 2 hurricanes that are off the coast pushing that, more moisture into the air. And, you know, if you look at your humidity index, it's higher. It is higher. And I was reading this thread, and people asked, you know, does humidity affect horses? And I don't really have the scientific answer, but in my opinion, I think it does. I think that, you know, horses can feel humidity just like humans can,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and they're a lot more uncomfortable. But going down to the beach, it is a little bit more humid. Obviously, there's a lot more moisture in the air, but it's cooler weather, right? So, um, you know, it's kind of what I kind of think about is when I go into the keg room at the boat, right? It's nice and cool, but there's still a lot of moisture in the air. And I walk back out to the humid air inside of the restaurant and it's hotter.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable because you're going from that cooler into the warmer. And then, you know, you obviously get a little bit of relief from the opposite, warmer into the cooler. But I think horses react the same way, right? And I think they sweat a lot. In the same way that we do, even though that it's cooler, the humidity still kind of makes you uncomfortable is the point. So
Mm-hmm.
when they're down at San Luis Rey, they already have that acclimation to the weather. They have the acclimation to the humidity. So I give it a little bit of a thumbs up to that as well. But I definitely would use Maggles Mcgee in that sequence in there to just to kind of do it. But I do like that volcanologist horse that you were talking about. I went back and
Mm-hmm.
I looked at a couple different things in there, and you know, Goji that he ran against is I like that horse. And then he's running against a couple other horses in there that I think that you know they can turn the tables on. So, but yeah, I think it's going to be a great race day on Friday. Wish they would do the 4 o'clock Fridays again, but everything's back to two.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's going to be a good day.
Yeah, I think just looking at, and by the way, Clearman's Galley, the boat, Rosemead Boulevard, San Gabriel. Go visit those guys. You might even see a guy on our screen here in a nice ONT blue cap that might be working there. Say hi to him for us, please, and
Yeah.
order a beer from him. Make sure that you tip him well, or else don't go.
Thank you.
Anyway,
Yeah.
um, but I looked at the Saratoga Springs, and it's got 55% chance of rain all the way through tomorrow. Obviously, everything canceled today, and because of torrential downpours and flooding and things like that. So hopefully they can get this thing squared away by tomorrow. And there's so much money involved in Saratoga, and so many people.
Mhm.
It's like Del Mar, where people plan their summers around it. And
Yeah.
certainly they can cancel a Wednesday. But when you're talking Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
Yeah.
yeah, that's when
That's a
people
lot.
start getting into town and the big races start happening. And however, if they do run tomorrow, I've got a few hunch bets for tomorrow.
Oh.
Perfect.
Ugh.
Saratoga, race number 4, Storming. You might
Mm.
want to bet that one. Race number 5, Waterbury. There's going to be a lot of water. Race number 8, Storm Miami, which Charisse picked earlier, right? And race number 9, Out of the Fog. So there you go. Those are the ones you want to bet because it's like rainy day bet a gray. You might want to try those two. You know, there's always hunches everywhere. So where can we get your picks there, Vic?
Yeah, so head over to Instagram. We are probably going to put out another free card Friday. I like doing that. A lot of people enjoy it, been successful with it. Last Saturday's card, man, I think that a lot of people were super happy. I had the 52 to 1 shot pick second, and he finished second. And the was $360 exacta.
That's right.
I had that,
Yep.
and
Yep.
Yep.
a lot of my followers were very thankful, and I appreciate every single one of them. But yeah, head over to Instagram, Vic's Paddock Picks, link in the bio. I typically don't put out a card on Thursday, but because obviously we're racing, I'll probably put out $2 card, $3 card just to keep it kind of economical. And we're really just trying to do this for the fans and put them in the right direction and really, put people on horses that they typically wouldn't look at, right? So I know that Del Mar brings a lot of the bigger price horses out, so I tend to get a little bit more liberal with that and giving out horses that I think can improve. And, obviously it paid dividends Saturday, and a lot of people made some money. So I was really excited for that, really proud of that. A lot of these handicappers out there that do this for a living or do it for a long time, you don't see a lot of 52 to 1 shots on their cards. You don't see them giving out those high price horses, and it
True.
kind of takes some guts to do it. And you know, when it doesn't work out, people are like, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's fine. You can have that. You can have that opinion. No problem. And I definitely take a lot of flack sometimes when, things don't go well. But I tell people this when they ask me, well, what is a good handicapper? And it's 25%.
Oh
The
yeah.
best ones in the world are 25% winners. And a shout out to Dylan Donnelly, who took down the Del Mar contest this last weekend. He's made over $1 million this year in handicapping contests, and he's just completely doing things his own way, right? And
Yeah.
he does his own speed figures. But you don't do that. You don't make $1 million in horse racing and handicapping by picking favorites. Okay, he
No.
takes shots. He knows that horses can improve, and he knows that you got to pick long shots in contests. And you turn 4,000 live money into 54,000. You don't do that again picking favorites. And people need to kind of realize that 25% doesn't seem like a big number, but if you're right 25% of the time on 10-1 North horses, you're making money, right? And
Yep.
I saw the statistic too the other day that Del Mar favorites are winning 20% of the time. So that tells you 80% of the time non-favorites are winning.
Yep.
And apply
Sure.
that to your handicapping, apply that to your betting strategy, and don't be afraid to throw that horse in at 50-1 or 30-1. I think Del Mar is the greatest place to kind of take advantage of that. So is the Saratoga, right? The Spa and Keeneland. Those
Yep.
places are kind of, famous for bringing in those big price horses. So, but yeah, Dylan, good friend of mine, really super proud and happy for him. And he's going to continue to do it. Hopefully he's the first person in history to win the NHC and then the
He was.
BCBC. So if he's able to accomplish that, he'll be making history, and he's already made history. I mean, he's 34 years old, and he's just doing a phenomenal job. And like I said, doing it his own way. He literally has his own speed figures, and he takes his time and does it in the way that I've never seen. Right, and I think that he's making waves in our industry. And
Good.
Todd Schrupp said it the best. I think that he's in his own orbit, and if he does it, if he
Wow.
wins the
Ex-
BCBC, so
Excellent.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
that's
awesome.
that's what we need. Let's keep this game moving forward. Go get him, Dylan. We
Yeah.
like it. We like it, man. All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up here for today. We are going to be on tomorrow from an undisclosed location, but it'll just be Charisse and I. Mike is on his travels here, and he's on assignment, we'll call it.
Out of the
But I
country.
think the assignment's pretty cool. So he'll talk about it when he comes back on in a couple of weeks. But until then, goodbye for a kiss for luck. Thank you for everything.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks for
Thank you
showing
guys.
up, Chris.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate
We'll
that.
see you soon.
Good luck tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll
Thank
see
you.
you.
All right. Bye
Hopefully.
now.
Thanks.